Life in your 20s feels like standing at a crossroads with countless paths stretching out before you. It's thrilling, overwhelming, and often confusing. Society tells you that this is the best decade of your life, the golden years. But no one hands you a map, no one warns you about the detours, and no one explains that sometimes the most important lessons are learned the hard way. Looking back now, I see clearly the things I wish I had known at 20. Not to avoid the mistakes, those were necessary, but to embrace the journey with a little more clarity, a little more courage, and maybe a little more grace. So, if you're ready, I want to share with you 5 lessons. 5 truths that I hope will inspire you, challenge you, and help you navigate this wild, messy, beautiful decade with an open heart and open eyes. Let's begin. 1. Open up to what lies ahead. I want to start with something I read once. Your 20s are just puberty all over again, but it's all emotions. And honestly, that can't feel more accurate. This decade is often painted as the pinnacle of life, the golden age, the ultimate peak where everything is supposed to be exciting and perfect. People say things like, have all the fun now, because after this, it's over! But let me ask you, does that sound freeing or suffocating? Because to me, it sounds like a recipe for fear. Fear of missing out, fear of not doing enough, and the fear of wasting your so-called golden years. And the thing is, that fear only adds to the stress you already feel. Isn't it enough that you're thrown into adulthood with a questionable skill set and no clear idea of how things work? This idea that your 20s are the best years of your life is more than just misleading. It's a projection. It's someone else's life plan. A plan that maybe looks like this. Finish school, maybe go to university, have fun, find a job, stop having fun, find a girlfriend, get married, have some kids, work a lot, grow old together. Pa pa pa. But here's the thing, your 20s don't need to look like anyone else's idea of perfect. Hey, don't even listen to me, this is also just a projection. In fact, the first piece of advice I'd give myself is this: take what resonates with you, leave the rest. You're not here to live anyone else's plan, you're here to discover your own. This time of your life isn't about ticking boxes or meeting expectations. It's about exploring, it's about learning, and most importantly, it's about opening up. Open up to the experiences that will shape you. Open up to the moments that will change how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you then decide to live your life. Because here's the truth, you don't need it all figured out. Nobody does. What you need is the courage to embrace what life has to offer. The good, the bad, the uncertain, all of it. Because those experiences, the ones that push you, that challenge you, that maybe even break you a little, those are the ones that will help you grow to become the person you're meant to be. So as we dive into this journey together, I encourage you to let go of preconceived ideas. Release the need for perfection and instead open up to what lies ahead. This is your life, your journey, your story to write, and I can't wait to help you turn the pages. 2. Either you decide now to sail your ship or others will do it for you. Change is the only constant in life, yet so often we resist it. We cling to the past, to habits, to people, to a version of ourselves that no longer fits who we are becoming. But let me tell you something, growth demands change. It asks us to leave behind what no longer serves us and step into a future that might feel uncertain but is full of possibility. I'll never forget the moment I realized this for myself. It was shortly after I decided to stop drinking. For the first time, I went to a club completely sober. And let me tell you, it's a whole different experience. And naturally, I just stood there, watching people sway left and right, listening to the music and losing themselves in the haze of the night. While watching them, I asked myself, why are we doing this to ourselves? And the answer came hard: to fill a void. We all carry this void inside us, a sense of emptiness, of longing, of searching something we can't quite name. And for a while, we try filling it with distractions. partying, drinking, drugs, even people. But here's the thing, that void can't be filled from the outside. No party, no drink, no person can ever truly fill it. That void requires your honest attention, your care, your willingness to look inward and face it head on. And that brings me to me, or rather to you. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to outgrow the things you once thought you needed. Maybe yesterday, drinking and drugs felt like fun. Maybe yesterday you surrounded yourself with people you thought were your friends. But if today feels different and you feel ready to let go, that's not weakness, that's growth. Sometimes we hold on to toxic habits and toxic people because we're afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of saying no, afraid of hurting someone's feelings. But let me ask you, whose ship are you sailing? If you're not steering your life, someone else is. And where will they take you? Somewhere you want to go? Or somewhere that serves their agenda, their comfort, their needs, while leaving you lost and unfulfilled? Be honest with yourself. Why are you going out with certain people? Why do you cling to certain habits? Is it because you feel obligated? Is it because you think you owe them something? Because you believe you can change them? Or is it simply because you're afraid to stand alone? Here's the truth. Better to be alone than in bad company. Better to sail your ship through unknown waters than let someone else chart a course to a destination you never wanted. And here's one more thing we need to talk about. Something just as vital to steering your life, your finances. Let's be honest, most of us were never taught how to handle money. We were thrown into adulthood with no real understanding of budgeting, investing, and saving. And some people maybe won't agree, but our financial health is just as important as our mental and physical health. Without it, life can become a constant struggle, a source of stress and limitations. But here are the good news. It's never too late to learn. Teach yourself. Watch videos, read books, learn from those who have already mastered this domain. There are countless inspiring people out there who have built wealth, stability, and freedom, not because they were born with it, but because they took the time to learn. Your finances are like the foundation of your ship. A strong foundation gives you the freedom to navigate life on your terms. It allows you to take opportunities, to weather storms, and to build a future you want. So take charge. Just like your health and your habits, your financial well-being is within your control. I know, change is scary, but it's also freeing. When you let go of things that no longer serve you, when you take responsibility for every part of your life, your habits, your relationships, your health, and your finances, you create space for something new, for something better, for the kind of life that reflects who you are, not who you used to be. So I challenge you, be brave enough to grow, be courageous enough to let go. Take the wheel of your ship and don't let anyone else steer your life, because the moment you take control, everything changes. You stop being a passenger and become the captain. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. And in that moment, my friends, you'll discover that a beauty of life is not clinging to the past, but embracing the endless possibilities of the future. 3. Add value to yourself and life will follow. There's a truth about life that is often overlooked. The value you seek is not out there waiting to be found. It's inside you, waiting to be built. There are a lot of things inside us, aren't there? Too often we search for validation, meaning, and success in the world around us. We chase relationships, opportunities, and happiness, hoping that they'll fill a gap or solve a problem. But what we fail to see is that everything we're looking for starts within us. Life is a journey, and as I said, each of us can be the captain of our own ship. But here's the thing. Many of us set sail without understanding how to steer. We drift aimlessly, hoping that the winds will bring us somewhere meaningful. But if you don't take control, if you don't invest in yourself and your ability to navigate life, you might end up in waters you never intended to explore. That's why I urge you, add value to yourself. Learn, grow, discover. These aren't just nice ideas, they're lifelines. They are the tools you need to take hold of the rudder and steer your life with intention and purpose. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to know your destination. Life isn't about rushing to reach a specific endpoint. As we all hear so often, it's about the journey. But there's a secret. The course of your life changes drastically when you focus on building yourself up. Imagine steering a ship. A small adjustment to the rudder might seem insignificant at first, but over time and distance, that tiny shift changes your whole trajectory. The same is true for your life. A single book you read, a conversation, or even a quiet moment of reflection, they all can change your perspective and set you on a better, brighter path. And let me add this. Of course, your body and mind are also part of the foundation. You can't steer your ship if it's falling apart. Your health, physical, mental, emotional, is invaluable. Without it, even the most simplest of tasks can become a monumental challenge. Train your body and your mind. Start small. Eat foods that fuel your body, not just foods that fill you. Rest when your body tells you it needs rest. Prioritize sleep. Exercise, even if it's just a small workout. These habits might feel like minor adjustments now, but over time, they will transform how you feel and how you live. When your body is strong and your mind is clear, you're better equipped to face challenges, embrace opportunities, and enjoy the journey of life. And that's the point, isn't it? To live fully and meaningfully. So ask yourself, what do I need to learn about myself? What questions am I afraid to ask? What habits will help me grow into the person I want to become? Because here's another simple truth. The more you invest in yourself, the more valuable your life will become. There's a principle called the law of attraction that has shaped the way I see the world. Like attracts like. When you focus on self-growth and authenticity, you start radiating something powerful, something that naturally draws people, opportunities, and experiences that align with who you are. But here's where many people go wrong. They chase happiness, love, success, like these things will magically solve their problems. But chasing is futile. Happiness isn't found by running after it. Love doesn't come from desperation, and success isn't something you can corner and catch. Instead, focus on becoming. Become the kind of person who inspires themselves. Invest in your skills, your passions, your health, and your growth. When you do, you won't have to chase anything. The right people, the right situations, and the right opportunities will find their way to you. Once again, life isn't about reaching a specific destination. It's about the person you become along the way. Every step you take to add value to yourself changes the course of your life. Every moment you spend learning, growing, and caring for your body and mind is a small adjustment to your ship's rudder, steering you toward a richer, fuller, more meaningful existence. Start today. Move your body, eat well, rest. Read that book, learn that skill, reflect on who you are and who you want to be. Because when you invest in yourself, body, mind, and soul, life will answer in ways you've never imagined possible. Take the wheel, set the course, and watch how the winds of life will shift in your favor. 4. Don't let your dreams become regrets. Let me ask you a question. What's that one thing you always felt you needed to do? Not wanted, needed. Deep down in your heart, there's a voice, there's a whisper that keeps coming back, reminding you of that dream, that calling, that burning desire. You know it's there, you felt it. And you also know if you ignore it, if you push it aside, it will haunt you for the rest of your life. Here's my story. I had that voice too. For years, I've struggled with it, wrestled with it, questioned it. But deep down, I knew there was something I just had to do. Something that wouldn't leave me in peace until I finally face it. I realized that to live the life I truly wanted, I first had to take this leap of faith. To embrace the uncertainty and just do it. For me, that meant enrolling in the army. I didn't know where it would take me. I didn't know how it would change me. But I knew this: if I didn't take that step, if I let fear or doubt hold me back, I would carry that regret for the rest of my life. And let me tell you something: regret is heavier than failure. Regret stays with you. It whispers in your ear when you're alone. It keeps you awake at night, wondering, what if? So I did it, and it was hard. It challenged me in ways I never expected, but it also changed my life. It opened my eyes. It gave me lessons that no book, no conversations, and no amount of planning could have ever taught me. Among other things, I learned gratitude for the simple things, like walls to protect me from the wind, a roof above my head, and a warm place to rest. These were things I'd taken for granted my entire life, but not anymore. And now I live differently, I see life differently, and I'm infinitely grateful that I took that leap. So what about you? What's your dream? What's that thing that keeps pulling at your heartstrings? Let me tell you something. In my opinion, it's worth the risk. Risk it all for that dream. Because what's the worst that could happen? Well, yeah, you could die, but aside from that, you might fail, yes, but failure isn't the end. It's the best teacher you'll ever have. You'll walk away with invaluable lessons, a deeper understanding of yourself, and a new perspective on life. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll succeed. And in that success, you'll find a version of yourself that you never knew existed. Stronger, braver, more alive. Either way, you win. Because taking that leap, facing that fear, chasing that dream will make you more than you are today. It will give you a story worth telling. And if it doesn't work out, well, maybe it'll be the best thing that never happened to you. The spark that led you to something even greater. But if you never try, if you let that dream sit in the corner of your mind, gathering dust, it will become regret. And regret is far heavier than most risks. So I ask you, what's stopping you? Fear, uncertainty, doubt. I'm here to tell you that those are the same shadows that stand before every great opportunity. Step through them, trust yourself. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Don't let your dreams become regrets. Take the leap, chase the dream, risk it all. And when you do, no matter the outcome, you'll come out the other side as a person with a richer, fuller, more meaningful life. Your dream is waiting for you. Don't keep it waiting any longer. 5. Life is not a battle, it's a conversation. Let me share with you a perspective that could shift the way you see everything. Start seeing life as a conversation not just with people, but the world, or perhaps the universe itself. Every thought you have, every decision you make, every action you take, they're all your way of speaking to life. And here's the part that many of us overlook. Life always answers. It always responds, but not in the way you expect. Life doesn't give you what you think you want. It gives you what you truly need. And here's where the absurdity begins. Instead of listening to life's answers, instead of being open to learning, adapting, and growing, we fight. We resist. We dig in our heels and blame the world for our pain, our struggles, our loops of suffering. But honestly, life is often generous. If you fail to grasp the lesson today, life will offer you another chance, and another, and another. But here's the catch. You have to spot the chance. If you don't, you'll repeat the same painful patterns over and over again, trapped in a loop of self-pity, whispering to yourself, why does this always happen to me? And let's be honest, isn't that a little absurd? To fight so hard against life that you miss the very beauty and perfection of it? Here's the thing, you can trust life. Not because everything will always be good, it won't. I won't lie to you or sugarcoat it. Life is messy, painful, and unpredictable. But if you shift your perspective, if you see in every fall, every failure, every mishap, the seeds of growth and possibility, something incredible happens. One door closes, that's okay, another will open. And if you embrace this mindset, you cannot lose. It's impossible to lose because every experience, no matter how harsh, becomes a stepping stone to a greater understanding of yourself and the world. And that's where the magic lies. Life is always teaching you. It's up to you to learn. You have a choice. Will you be the person who rants endlessly about how hard and unfair life can be, not realizing you're stuck in a one-sided conversation? Or will you become the person who listens, who sees the potential and power of every single moment? Let me tell you something I wish I'd known when I was 20. Life wants what's best for you, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it's cruel, even when it brings you to your knees. Life isn't your enemy, your resistance is. Take a deep breath, stop fighting against it. Realize that your own misconceptions, your flawed reality, are driving your decisions and keeping you locked in that loop of suffering. And then, my friends, when you finally stop fighting, when you take a step back and open your eyes, you'll see it. The beauty and perfection that has always surrounded you. You'll laugh at how blind you were and about how absurd your resistance was. So then I would say to you, congratulations, you've just woken up. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Start the conversation, embrace it, and watch how everything changes. Thank you for watching.